I'm gonna show you guys how to go from a transition from a tile, which is a higher surface, down to this vinyl, which is a lower surface. So what we need to use is called a reducer. It's a type of molding. So you can see on this reducer that there's a higher surface here. It'll snap into this universal bracket here that we'll install onto the ground, and then it'll reduce it down to this lower surface. The height difference here, if we didn't have this reducer, there'd be a little lip here, and then over time something would end up hitting this and breaking it, and it just wouldn't be a great transition. Additionally, the T-molding or reducer ends up hiding the imperfections of, if you say we get it like not perfectly square on these cuts. So it hides that. You do want to do that before you get your vinyl up to it, so you can put the vinyl pretty close to this. So I'm just going to measure it out. It doesn't have to be necessarily perfect if you're a tiny bit short on here. And we'll cut. So just using this little hacksaw. You can just do about halfway, and then it should be able to bend. So we'll put this here. So it says do about 3/16 of an inch from the existing floor here. So what I'm gonna do, I already vacuumed it, so you want this to be pretty clean. Comes with some screws here that you can put it in if it's going into a subfloor that's like a wooden subfloor. We have concrete here, so I'm gonna use some epoxy to lay it down, and then I'll come back with some concrete screws and put a couple concrete screws into there. So this epoxy is two materials, or two substances that when combined together will create a reaction to create a rock hard bond. So I'm gonna screw this guy on. And as it presses through there, it's gonna end up mixing these two subjects. And dust. So just set it in there. So I'm visually estimating 3/16 of an inch. So I'll wait till I get those baseboards in, measure this, cut it to be flush with those baseboards, and then just snap it into place, and it makes a great transition piece for those unlevel surfaces. All right, so it's been a few months now. Finally got the floor in. Finally did the baseboards here. We're having a Christmas party tonight, so I kind of got a lot of things going a lot quicker so that I could look a little bit nicer for a Christmas party. So now's the easiest part. So you just measure the distance in between here. And remember, if it's bent like that, kind of just take note of how much it's actually going to be there. It's harder to read there. So on this, I'm going to put it there and then actually go a little further so I can read it from that angle. It's a little easier. So go there, mark it, and then pop it in. All right, so on this, it's always better to get a little bit long, because you can always cut off a little bit more instead of too short, and then you're like, oh crap, you can't add to it. Ready to blade? Square this off. And now for the fun part, get it plotted in. Start at one side and then kind of just work your way in there. That's it.